All right, we're getting ready to change oil this morning on this Cummins. This is in a 40-foot Winnebago. You have zero access to the engine from the top side unless you seriously tear into stuff. The good news is they put everything you need to get to down here. Very clean motor. A little bit of a, looks like rear main seal leak. Oil filters right there. The fuel filters are basically like right there on the other side of the transmission. So they're just in the back side there. Pretty easy to get to. Oil drain plugs right there. And the filler is from the back. So we're just going to do a simple oil change. Oil, fuel filters, 2 fuel filters, primary, secondary, and the oil filter. Engine oil change. And then we're going to lube everything up. One thing that I noticed is because the way we have it jacked up here on these stands is the drive shaft knuckle right now is actually touching the frame right there. It's resting on it. I guess you can't see it from this angle, but trust me, it's touching. Everything looks nice and clean. I don't really see any crazy wear or anything. I'll get in there and look a little closer as we start lubing things up. Okay, we're gonna start the oil change. They don't give you a lot of room to get to the oil filter either. So what's your favorite car of all time?
I don't know the answer to that question. I've had a lot of them.
Okay, how about not necessarily one that you've owned? You don't have a...
Well, I sold my race car a year ago, and I'd have to say that, you know, comparing apples and oranges and peaches and everything else, that was an awesome automobile. A little BMW sedan, but I had done everything known to mankind to the motor, and it was a beast. It was a rocket ship. It was just, 74 years old is enough, At some point, you realize that you're not as fast and as agile as the guys you're racing against.
Were you doing like road racing or?
Yeah. And I enjoy driving fast on a road racing course, but when you put a whole bunch of cars
Around you.
with a bunch of 28-year-olds that think they're invincible,
That is it.
around you, then it's no longer nearly as much fun.
Okay, let's see.
By golly, that is a little plastic filter back there, isn't it? I'll be dang. I hadn't done this on my own before because I didn't have a way to deal with 26 quarts of oil.
Yeah, I've never done an oil change on a bus with quarts before.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, usually we buy it in the gallon jug, so it's a little easier, but let's see.
This Doug that sent me the care package is a really interesting guy. He owns this business called Petroblend. Essentially, he's an ag oil supplier in Iowa. So he has all these filters and stuff, and he sells all kinds of blended oils and everything for the farming community. But his hobby is aviation, and he's a warbird pilot.
Oh, nice.
He's real active in the warbird community, so he's got all kinds of incredible airplanes around. And years ago, the air show guys had a little difficulty getting their smoke oil. Some of the big companies kind of balked at screwing around with a little market. And so Doug started making smoke oil for aviation air show purposes, and he's become some of the go-to worldwide supplier of it.
Nice.
Looks thick and gooey.
Yep. This one's got a little bit left in it, so your oil filter holds about 3 quarts of oil.
All right, I get it. I'll get it down.
Barky?
She's right here. Go ahead and call her.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it in here. Come on.
Judging from eBay prices, I think that, if I remember correctly, I think these filters were a little over $100.
Wow. I paid $75 for one time. Okay, I'm going to hand you the old filter. And just set it over there somewhere. I brought my metric tool set down, but the drain plug is a pipe plug, so I just used the ratchet. Thought I was going to get to use my metrics. So we got the oil out here. This only holds about 6.5 gallons, maybe, something like that. Not as much as I would have thought. Oh, that's a pretty car.
'83 Datsun 280 ZX, 72,000 miles. I think I'm the second owner.
Wow.
So yeah, it's all original except for the AC.
Except for the AC pump down there.
That's right. 134A conversion, parallel flow condenser, and it blows snowballs.
How many horsepower is it?
I don't really know. I think it was 150-ish, 160. Fuel injected, you know. But
What'd you say your economy was on the way here?
estimated at about 26 miles per gallon. But we did go up the trace, so that's 55 miles an hour, and that's pushing it. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
it is. I enjoy it. I came across it. I couldn't turn it down. The only thing I've done to it besides the AC is put a new muffler on it and change all the fluids in the car. It had set up a while. And it's running a little bit lean. I think the airflow meter needs to be adjusted. It's got BG44K in the tank, trying to help clean everything out. But, yeah, that's her.
So we had a little snafu with one of his fuel filters. The one that was on there was a Wix, the one with that little clear bowl on the bottom where it had like a fuel sump drain and a sensor port on it. The new one that we had was a Baldwin filter that set it cross-referenced to that filter. It didn't have the bowl on the bottom, but it had a port for the sensor and it had a drain. So we thought, okay, it's fine. So we went to put it on. The center threads and the diameter were the same, but the filter housing itself was about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch skinnier than the other one, which means it didn't seal on the outside surface. So it was just leaking fuel, which we knew this before we even started it. So I questioned, the fact that it was skinnier, and I thought, well, that plate that it mounts to is kind of thick, so maybe it'll be okay. We double checked that the number cross-referenced, but it did not. So we had to call O'Reilly's here in town, and they ordered it and had it here by 3 o'clock, so we just had to delay for a little bit. Went and got the right Wix filter, switched the bowl on the bottom, and we were good to go. Can't get it because of the glare. There we go. That'll be the one and only Winnebago in the world with that sticker on it. So we have these Spartan mosquito tube things. Let's see what they are here. Brian brought these by for us yesterday. There's 2 of them in the box. You fill them with water, with warm water, you shake them up, and then you hang them from a tree, and they attract mosquitoes and kill them, I believe, but they attract them away from you. So you hang them up like a certain distance away from your area, and like they can do up to an acre for getting rid of the mosquitoes. So you hang them away from where you want to hanging out, and it attracts them to it, and then I believe it kills them. So we're gonna give these things a shot, hang them up out here, and keep the mosquitoes away. So there, I've got one hung up in the tree, and it says 90 feet away from where you want it, your active area to be. So this is kind of over by where Tyler's bus is. Going to be parked for now. I can move it later if I need to. And I'm going to put one over on the other side of Tyler's bus over that way too. So that should give us a pretty good zone here in the middle. So it's not quite 90 feet away from the bus, but it's about 90 feet away from the area where we're normally at outside. And there's the other one over here kind of in the woods hanging, and hopefully that'll give us pretty good coverage out here. Now they're getting ready to leave. They were awesome guests to have, and they brought us down a lawnmower to use until they come back through next, and it's like 6 months or whatever, 5 months. And then also a chainsaw, a gas-powered chainsaw for us to use here on the property. So that was super nice of them too. We really enjoyed having them here. Can't wait to have them back. We'll have the primitive campsite improved a little bit the next time they get here. We got some good feedback on what to do with it from them using it though. They gave us some good ideas for stuff, and that was really nice. They got it turned around down there, no problem. They didn't have to come up the hill. I didn't get it on video. We were working on something else when they turned it around, but it had no problem turning around down there. Without the toad hooked up, of course. There they go. Yeah, plenty of more room for solar on the top of that. I've been using these blue towels from White Ball. They're super thick and real strong, super strong, and very absorbent too. They're by far my favorite blue towel that I've ever used. That should give you enough information to try to order them. They're probably available on Amazon.
His tools, check the air and all those duels. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Well, he's got a long hard ride in old Lenny the Silver Sides. Get that bus grease monkey on the road. Well, he's got that hammer down and that 47 Hound. It's that bus grease monkey on the road. He travels all around and he's coming to your town. Get that bus grease monkey down the road. See that 4104 with the propped up engine door. Watch that bus grease monkey do his thing. 30 years behind that barn, cause it don't run worth a darn. Watch that bus grease monkey make it sing. He knows them Detroits, there's no doubt, upside down and inside out. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in that old blue Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Now he's moved his family to the hills of Tennessee. Watch that bus grease monkey make his home, bringing buses back to life with the help of his dear wife. Watch that bus grease monkey get it done. Well, he travels town to town working on them old greyhounds. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? Saving buses far and wide in old Lenny the Silver Sides. It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know? It's that bus grease monkey, don't you know?